backstage at Trillions in Newcastle. I'm joined by Graham Bonnet and Jimmy Waldo of the Graham Bonnet Band, and of course Alcatrazz. Gentlemen, good evening.
Hello.
Hi. It's a pleasure to be here.
It is.
You're doing 16 dates with only 2 days off, so how do you pace yourself for that?
It's very telling right now because we're getting up at 0 o'clock and getting in the car and driving, for 5 hours or whatever. It's tiring, but it's sort of rewarding when you do a good show for an hour and a half, whatever we do, that's the most rewarding part of the day. But the traveling, like everyone will say, is like crap.
Yeah.
Because we've all been through it. I remember David Coverdale saying, he said, I don't mind touring. It's just the travel I don't like. So what a great answer that is. Like, it's just the traveling. Well, but that makes no sense.
You've got so much material to choose from right across your collective careers. How do you fit so much into such a short space of time?
Well, it's hard for me because there are so many songs I like, and sometimes we all disagree on, song because they probably don't go down that great live. Sometimes it's hard to choose because I think over the years I've recorded some really nice material. Now I don't know, I'm sort of a bit of an ego trip here, but I think the songs I've recorded over the years have been really classic and classy, but sometimes they don't work live. We've had a few songs we put in live, and it's why is this not working?
Like what song?
Well, there was a song we had called Rider, which is off the first album, and it's on the album it's fine, but live, I don't know, we just didn't grasp it somehow. It sounded wimpy. And some of the songs are better live, because I listened to the album, the new album or the album before this, and I go, God, we play that so much better now, because you do have that feedback from the crowd, or not smiling or not smiling. But when the audience is up, that's when we live too, obviously.
Like Star Car Lane's an interesting one.
Yeah.
We learned that because we wanted to learn. We just wanted to do it. Love the song.
Yeah.
And but we thought, well, it's not a 180 BPM, mash your face against the wall. So we didn't know how it would go over, and it's been going over great.
Yeah.
The first night we played it, the crowd was like, we were like, what? They loved it. So you just never know.
And you put that as a bonus track on your new album as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of an obscure song, really. I mean, we never thought of it being, back in the day, as being a single or anything. We picked the obvious ones. This is kind of like a nostalgic song about my grandparents. It's not sort of heavy metal, but the way it sounds, when we play it, it's kind of pretty moving and aggressive.
That's really cool. Yeah.
And how do you go about writing? Do you sort of bring in different ideas?
So Joey and Graham would just sort of go through it, sit there with Pro Tools and edit, and get the rough, get it roughed out.
The blueprints of the actual song. That's how I've always done things. I've got a nice line here. Maybe that doesn't work. You put all this Frankenstein job sometimes.
Yeah.
And then when you get it all put together, you say, okay, that's the way we're going to play it. When it comes out the right way, which we never really know which is the right way, but there's a feeling. You just got a feeling. Like Richie Blackmore used to come in. He had no solo in his mind. When he used to do solos on the Rainbow album I was on, he would come in and say, what's the song? And he'd sit down in the chair, okay, do like 7 takes of this to Roger Glover. And he would do like whatever. And then Roger would say, this bit's good, this. And then Richie would play what Roger put together. And that's pretty much what we do,
All right, so he'd actually pick the parts out and then play them rather than being spliced in by tape.
Oh, that bit's good. That bit's good. I'm going to put that bit there.
Right.
So you must remember to play that when we play it live. Yeah. He didn't always do that, but he tried, bless his heart. He really did. And so do I. But I sometimes go away from the studio version a little bit.
Inside the years, remember me, I knew you.
to go back a long, long way now to that first album with Alcatrazz. How did you first cross paths?
His manager was trying to put a band together with Graham and some other guys that he was interested in, and he found myself and Gary Shea
Of New England.
through an ad in the newspaper. Gary had put an ad in just for a lark, like, hey, let's just see. We'd been living in LA for a couple of years, and Gary said, yeah, let's put it, it'd be a music newspaper, put it in there. And the manager's son saw it and knew our band that we had been in, the band New England.
Yeah.
He knew about the band. So Paul tells his dad, so his dad calls us up. He goes, so what do you, Andy, Andy was from Blackpool, so
All right.
had an interesting sense of humor, to say the least. So yeah, he called us up, and we met with Andy and Graham and just talked, and was like, well, let's give it a shot. Went to Graham's garage, and Graham
Not the same
played
garage.
Another garage.
different garage,
Butler's City.
and played General Hospital, and we went, yeah, that's cool. And away we went.
So there's the three of you at first, then Jan came in?
Yeah, we auditioned some different drummers, and Jan came down, loved Jan.
I never met some of them because we live in a different part of the city, so the rest of the band sort of live downtown-ish. So
Yeah,
all the stuff's going on in the Hollywood area.
Yeah.
And I lived out of town, so I didn't hear half of the guitar players we auditioned, and there were some good ones apparently that I missed out on. But then one day, he walked into the room. And there was this kid, a 19-year-old kid, looked like Richie Blackmore. He had the Richie Blackmore outfit on.
Yeah.
And we'd given him an audition piece, which was Russ Ballard's SOS.
Right.
Yeah. And it wasn't a typical, kind of song. But we thought if he can play that well, then we got the right guy, And he came in and...
like Graham said, if he can play that, it takes a little bit of discipline, and it's very song oriented. The fast, the Whitley stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of guys can do that actually, but try to do that in the song text and make it work within things like that, and be able to step back from your shredding and be able to play a real song, chords and lines and melodies, and thinking about the vocal as opposed to your guitar solo. And Yngwie was actually good at that.
Because you were all very experienced musicians, and Yngwie had just done the Steeler album. Was he sort of quite eager to learn, or did he think he sort of knew more than he really did?
No, I think he came into at first, he came into the job with, I'm just glad to be here. That was his attitude.
Yeah.
He was really like...
Big fan of Graham.
Yeah, that morning, I remember he was sitting in the car outside the studio when we first met him, waiting to come in to audition. And he thought that his friends had told him that we were going to meet up. It was an audition for our band. And he was sitting in the car and he goes, oh my God! He did the hands on the face thing. Yeah. I can't believe it. He was like thrilled. Yeah. But as the days went on, as the years went on, or the months, whatever, he became very much more sort of confident with his own ability and his own talent. He could see that the audience, when we played live, the audience had their eyes on him because they could see what this kid was doing. They're going, oh my God, I not only can I see what he's doing, but listen to what he's playing, because every note was perfect. He was
nobody else was doing
incredible player back then.
And do you think that sort of led him to think, well, I want to do my own thing here? And
I think he always wanted to do his own thing, but I think he wasn't quite mature enough to have it together to go, I'm doing my own thing at 18, screw everything. 18. I think he's sort of like, he loved Graham, loved his voice, loved Rainbow, so that was a natural thing for him to go, oh my God, I can play with Graham Bonnet, blah, blah, blah. And then after we got going, I think he saw, after we played, like Graham said, he got the attention. He was like, oh yeah, I'm doing my own thing.
So how did things change when Steve Vai came in? Because he comes across as more of a sort of laid-back, easy-going sort of guy. I mean, was that how he was in the band?
What do you think?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He was more hippie. Very much a hippie when he joined the band.
Big-time hippie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like... he didn't have a guitar that worked. I mean, the guitar he auditioned with worked most of the time. And the speaker cabinet that he played through, out of the 4 speakers, one was completely missing and the wires were hanging out.
Oh, yeah, God, I remember.
And I said to Steve, I said, you know, the impedance is all screwed up there. That's going to really affect the sound. And Steve kind of looked at the cabinet and went, really? Oh. He didn't even... He just had no concept of, it was all about the music.
Yeah.
So as long as he could hear noise, he was, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
And he played with a vengeance at that audition. He played like, he just went for it. Because I met with him a couple times and he said, I can't play the Yngwie stuff. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, we don't want you to play the Yngwie stuff. You just do your own thing, you know, and we'll write songs and just do what you do. And he kept saying that. And then I'd sit with him sometimes and he'd play the Yngwie stuff, no problem. He just didn't choose to be that thing, you know.
He certainly brought a different sound to the band, and I think to me that's the best of the 3 of those those albums.
I agree.
That's our favorite record.
We all agree on
Yeah.
that. The first one was like a demo, if you will, you know, testing the water. But the second one was the real. I call it the real Alcatrazz, and Steve is very proud of that album. And
Very interesting.
It was so different. Because no one was doing those kind of songs were very well constructed, and they weren't your typical, you know, horns and devils and, you know, whatever else. You know, they were very well put together and thoughtful songs.
Because you worked with Eddie Kramer on that one, didn't you?
Yeah.
How was it working?
He was good. He was very good.
He was good. It was tough. He and Steve butted heads. Steve was young, so it was almost a similar Yngwie type thing where he was young and inexperienced, really. He had played with Zappa, but that's not like touring with Whitesnake or something, you know, and then coming down. So very, very different experience. So Steve was very full of himself, and he and I laugh about it now, but, you know, he and Eddie butted heads because Steve had his own ideas about the way things should be. But Eddie did a great job of corralling that and rustling all those cats together in one place and making a great record. It all worked out in the end.
Having the 3 guitarists on 3 different albums, do you think that affected the cohesion of the band, or do you think it sort of each album gave you something different to work on?
I think it destroyed the band in the end. I think.
Yes.
Because it wasn't Alcatrazz by the 3rd album.
Yeah,
it was Shittatrazz, you know. So,
a piecemeal thing of...
You know, because we were asked, as I said, we were asked to do covers by Capitol, and we didn't want to do covers of, you know, old pop songs from 1960, but we did just to please them, because they said, well, we need to have you on radio, you know, be more radio friendly. And so we don't understand your words, Graham. What do they mean? You know, well, just read them. You'll understand what they are. I always used to say, well, the thinking man's heavy metal.
Yeah,
you know, that was a thing we coined years ago.
Yeah,
because they're not songs about dragons and chains and knights in armor,
lizards and snakes.
They're about, you know, real life. I think, you know. So it's always reporting. I call them like almost like country songs. You know, how the country writer will write a song. It's about real life. You know, death, life, funny things, sarcastic things, all kinds of different, you know, things that happen in real life, not fantasy. I couldn't write a fantasy song if I tried. I don't think.
Graham mention you're back with us again in a couple of months' time with Michael Schenker
Yes.
and Gary Barden and Robin McCauley and Dougie White, and as you said, Chris Glenn and Ted McKenna from the Assault Attack Day. So it's going to be a great show. So you're looking forward to that too?
Yeah, I mean it's really kind of relaxing for me to actually sing with other guys because I can do some backup singing and say, okay, it's your turn up front.
Yeah.
So I don't get all the arrows and he wasn't very good. I don't get all that. It's pretty good, the audience. And there's, but every song that comes up, they go crazy.
Great to speak to you.
Good to see you again.
Graham and Jimmy, it's great. And best of luck with the show tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.